to grant citizenship to former slaves and their descendants, and not to the children of undocumented immigrants who entered this country illegally.
That's Jan Crawford, CBS News chief legal correspondent. Continue our team coverage, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. From Kennesaw State University School of Government and International Affairs, Professor Jason M. Shepard. Professor, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning, Mark. Great. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Big day at the Supreme Court, but as a professor, I would imagine it's a big day for you as a teacher, because this whole birthright citizenship issue is something that you've been discussing with students for a while.
It has been, and even before I came to KSU, I would do talks on, especially with people believing Barack Obama wasn't a natural-born citizen, or John McCain or Marco Rubio. So this issue has been boiling around sort of on the fringes of the Republican Party for a while. And so it's and I tell you what, Mark, the more I've studied, I've actually changed my mind on this issue.
Ooh.
I used to believe that subjects to jurisdiction thereof would exclude illegal aliens, and especially maybe not people here on some sort of visa, but the more I've studied the original intent and the original debate on the subject, I've come to a different conclusion.
All right, so it's the vagueness of those 5 words in the 14th Amendment. That's really what the administration's going to be arguing today. Say those 5 words really slow for the listeners, and talk about your shifting opinion, I guess, on those 5 words.
So those 5 words, which are within the first part of the 14th Amendment, are simply say, well, I think we need to put in context. I'll slow down on those 5 words. The amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state where they reside. And that's it. That's the second part is that Congress can enforce this with appropriate legislation.
Mm-hmm. So again, my initial reaction was, all right, we've had precedent. We had the case involving the Chinese citizen in the late 1890s, I believe. I just thought this was settled, but I look at the vagueness of those 5 words. I'm like, well, maybe there is some wiggle room there. Talk about what you used to think and what you have evolved to think now when it comes to the 14th Amendment.
Well, in part of it, there's another case that's not being discussed, and that's Dred Scott versus Sanford, which was decided in 1857, in which the Supreme Court ruled, Dred Scott was a slave who'd been taken to free territory suing for his freedom. And the Supreme Court said he couldn't sue because he was not a citizen, because he was a slave. And in fact, even if you were born, if you're black and you're born in New York, born free, never been in slavery, your parents, you still were not a citizen either.
Interesting.
And that was one of the catalysts of the Civil War. So this amendment was specifically to address not only newly freed slaves, but individuals who've been born in the United States who'd never been slaves, who were denied their freedom by the Supreme Court decision by codifying in the Constitution. So the idea of citizenship goes way back to the founding, obviously. There was an English jurist named William Blackstone who 11 years before the Declaration of Independence wrote his commentaries on the common law, and he talked about how in England we're different. England was different from France. If you were an alien and you're born, your parents were aliens and you were born in England, you were a British citizen. If you're aliens and your parents were aliens and you're born in France, you were not a French citizen. So that was the difference, and that carried over into the jurisprudence of the United States. Our first laws dealing with immigration and who was a citizen. And this is, like I said, these are things I teach my students. So we finally come after the end of this Civil War. We had this Dred Scott decision, and we talk about Wong Kim Ark in 1898 because that was the first test.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got down to the minutes of the debate, the minutes from the United States Senate, the 14th Amendment was proposed by Senator Jacob Howard, who is a Republican senator from Michigan. And he basically said, we are putting in the Constitution what we already understand as the law. It's just now the Supreme Court can't overrule it. So he said, declaring that all persons born in the United States and subject to his jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and where they reside. I do not propose to say anything on the subject except that the question of citizenship has been so fully discussed in this body as not to need any further elocution, in my opinion. And he went on to say, and this is also where you have a little ambiguity, because these are handwritten notes of someone speaking, so you don't know where pauses are. He says the amendment, this will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens who belong to families of ambassadors or foreign ministers accredited to the United States, but will include every other class of persons. It settles the great question of citizenship and removes all doubt as to what persons are and are not citizens of the United States. Unfortunately, we're still debating this nearly 160 years later.
Professor, what weight will those handwritten notes from the senator from Michigan have at all in these oral arguments?
Well, I'm also I'm an attorney as well. I'm a member of the Federalist Society. I'm a member of the Bar of the United States Supreme Court. And it will go to the idea of what was the original intent of Congress when passed out this amendment. Under international law, custom, everything, if you are a diplomat in a foreign country, you are not subject to the jurisdiction of that country. In other words, if you are the ambassador and you murder someone in the United States, we can't arrest you and prosecute you unless your home country says we can.
Yeah.
All we can do is ship you back. So even back then, that was the idea of the subject to jurisdiction. They're completely outside our jurisdiction. But let's face it, if you're an illegal alien and you've crossed the border, you can be arrested. You can be prosecuted for crimes. You can serve time in prison here before being sent back. So that would say that they are subject to the jurisdiction of this country.
Interesting.
And we're in a very different spot. We are in a very different spot than we were in 1865, 1866. It's a lot easier. Even Wang Kim's parents, the law at the time said if you were from China, you can be a permanent resident, but you can never become a citizen, because they believed at the time that being China was both an ethnicity and a nationality, and to swear allegiance to the United States and give up your allegiance to China would be to give up your allegiance to your own physical nationality and who you were ethnically. So luckily we've moved past that way of thinking, but that's why his parents could not become citizens, but they're here legally.
Professor, I hate to interrupt. Professor Jason M.
absolutely.
Shepard from Kennesaw State University joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. The oral arguments have begun. I just want to listen in quickly. This is John Sawyer from the U.S. Solicitor General, and I believe we're going to hear from John Roberts, the chief.
Senator Trumbull's statement that I quoted at the beginning, where he says, he's asked, what does that mean, subject to the jurisdiction thereof? And he says, it means not owing allegiance to anybody else. That is what it means. And this court picked up on that in Elk against Wilkins when it says, it uses, completely subject to the political jurisdiction, not mere regulatory jurisdiction.
What do you do with
I believe that's
Wang
Elena Kagan now.
Kim Ark's quote of Daniel Webster,
Soda
who
Sonny
said, independently of a residence, with intention to continue such residence, independently of any domiciliation, independently of the taking of any oath of allegiance or renouncing any former allegiance. It is well known that by the public law, a non-citizen, while he is here in the United States, owes obedience to this country's laws. Now, the examples that Wang R. Kim used as exceptions are situations in which there was not temporary allegiance to the United States. The children of foreign diplomats whose only allegiance was to their foreign.
I believe that's what you were just referencing there.
Exactly.
Yeah, just listening in there. All right, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you are well more versed in this whole issue, the 14th Amendment, than I am. President Trump's going to be in court, which is historic in its own right. Apparently going to be seeing 15 rows back. He's there now listening to these arguments. 6-3 majority. Any indication what you think the court might do with this case?
I think I don't think it's going to be close. I think the issue has long been settled, and it really becomes an issue that if we want to amend how we decide citizenship, we have to do it through the constitutional process. We can't do it through the legal process. We certainly can't do it through an executive order. And a lot of times President Trump will do things through an executive order that he could do some other way. A lot of times the court will throw it back at him and he'll change it and then the court will upheld it. We remember this in the case early on in his first administration with visitors from certain Islamic countries that was eventually upheld. But this one, it's an amendment that it does go back to prior to the founding, what we inherited from Great Britain and how citizenship was different there than it was in other parts of the continent.
Yeah.
And Blackstone's widely quoted by the founding fathers and quoted in the Federalist Papers, almost more than any other person. So even if it's not on this issue.
Yeah, this is literally history before our eyes, and what a treat for you as a professor and your students that you get to talk about this as it's ongoing. And I believe, final question for you, Professor, after oral arguments, we might get a decision June-ish. Is that the proper timeline, you think?
That's the proper timeline. Usually the court waits until the end of the term in order to release sort of their biggest opinions. We've only one time seen a leak in that very early on in which way they were leaning. And but other than that, it's usually kept pretty close to the vest, and we'll find out then. But
yeah. And it's going to be big for the fall semester. We'll have a decision.
Exactly.
So fall semester will be it'll be front and center. Great stuff. Great insight, Professor Jason M. Shefford from the Kennesaw State University School of Government and International Affairs. Go Owls. In-depth coverage of birthright citizenship, the 14th Amendment, and those vague 5 words. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the day, of course. When we come back, Xavier Walton from News Nation, we're going to talk economics, the current economic situation in the United States, and how gas prices are impacting schools. Xavier will explain after we check traffic. Joining us live in Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, the one and only Smile Mark McKay.
All right, Mark, we're off on that west side perimeter, leaving Hollowell Parkway up to where we see a breakdown. Hero unit is with it. It's a broken down big rig. Second lane from the left center lane out here on 285 northbound, right at the Paces Ferry Road exit 19. Rolling in from the west, just take I-20 east to 75-85 north. It's fine heading through the city north of I-20. Still a bit of a chore as you leave 166 Langford Parkway up to I-20 in downtown Atlanta. That, of course, is impacting I-20 west through East Atlanta, with westbound delays beginning at Moreland Avenue. This report sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then, you find a deal where you get more and pay less. Now, that's a good deal. That's Straight Talk Wireless on Verizon's 5G network. Find it exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic 95.5 WSB.
He's asking you questions.
Hey, you know what? What's eating you up?
He's asking more questions.
What, are you empty? Soulless?
And he's offering nutritional advice.
Pica, I think, is the thing where you eat like
Chalk and
ashes,
clay.
Eric Von Hassler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
We're seeing all the signs. Pollen counts are high, fewer mornings are chilly. Step by step, we are headed to spring and summer. This is Scott Slade, and the team at Ragsdale Heating and Air wants you to be ready for the hot and humid days we know are ahead. Right now, you could take up to $1,700 off a new Carrier home comfort system. And don't forget, the spring savings extend far beyond the big season change with Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty on your new system. That's zero repair cost till 2041. Ragsdale's the name I know you can trust for all your heating, air, plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs, too. How do I know? I've used a lot of those services, and they have a 4.9 Google rating and over 11,000 reviews. I've been a Ragsdale customer for years. I always come away impressed with their friendly, quality service. A lot of these Ragsdale guys have been with the company for 10, 20, even 30 years. So take advantage of this great deal before spring lands in Metro Atlanta. Schedule your visit online at ragsdaleair.com or give one of their friendly customer service reps a call. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
Pay to play, sweetheart deals, government land grabs, and a rigged gambling law. Corrupt career politician Burt Jones made a fortune in public office. But it gets worse. Now Jones is in the tank for illegal Chinese vapes. They're poisonous, they're addicting our kids, and President Trump issued a national order to ban them. But just like a career politician, Burt Jones ignored Trump's order and blocked legislation to stop the sale of illegal Chinese vape pens in Georgia. That's right, Jones ignored Trump and blocked the legislation to ban them right here in Georgia. Why? Because the Jones family is making big bucks selling the same deadly addictive Chinese vapes Trump banned in their gas stations. corrupt career politician Burt Jones. He sold out Georgia for Chinese vapes.
Paid for by Jackson for Governor, Inc.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh no, not now.
What's wrong?
Unit B on our duplex. The water heater just gave out. I have to go.
It's your daughter's cake.
I know, but if I don't fix it, I'll lose the tenant.
It's the small investor trap. You have enough properties to be busy, but not enough to feel like you can afford a manager. Think again. For $115 a month, Renters Warehouse Atlanta becomes your full-time automated staff. We handle the 2 a.m. leaks, the tenant screenings, and the maintenance coordination with our brand new high-tech tracking system. Better ROI, better tenant placement, total freedom. Visit rwatlanta.com today for your free home rental price analysis or call 404-662-2322. Renters Warehouse Atlanta. Efficiency is key.
If you're hurt in a car, trucking, or motorcycle wreck, what you do next matters. Call Sweet James Accident Attorneys, 800-9-MILLION. The firm that cares, the firm that wins. Sweet James. Pay nothing until they win. 800-900-0000 or online at sweetjames.com.
Looking for something this weekend? Head to Lakewood 400 Market, where shopping feels like an adventure. Shop over 500 booths packed with home decor, fashion, art, collectibles, and one-of-a-kind finds. Grab a bite, bring a dog, make a day of it. Lakewood 400 Market. Discover something you didn't know you were looking for.
Cancer. One small cell can change everything. Beating it takes something big. Northside Hospital Cancer Institute is built for it. Built for breakthroughs, pioneering clinical research, treatment, and surgical innovation, with the most cancer centers and board-certified oncologists in Georgia. We're built around you, with personalized care from screening through survival. Northside Hospital Cancer Institute, built to beat cancer.
3 weeks ago, it was about 275, and then once that war started, I started seeing it go up daily. So it's not helping, that's for sure.
That's Danny, lives in New York City, talking about the price of an average gallon of gas. $6 in New York City. Nationwide, it's $4.10. Joining us live, covering the economic situation of the war with Iran, Xavier Walton from News Nation. Xavier, good morning. You know, we feel the pain filling up our tanks, but I didn't even think about the poor bus drivers out there in the school systems, that this huge increase is really going to hammer their budgets now.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, you know what? It's something, once you open Pandora's box, you can't get it out of your head. And for me, I'm like you. I didn't think about it either until I got assigned the story and I started doing a little research. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, not only school buses and school districts who have tight budgets already and, dwindling budgets when you start to think about it, some of these rural districts as well, but even garbage trucks. I was outside of a fire station this morning. They do diesel. I mean, all of these, big, heavy machinery, they require diesel to keep the wheels going. And I'm sitting here filling up my little tank, $40, $50. I can only imagine what they're filling up. And it turns out there's this trickle down effect. So now you got local leaders across the country and you got, school districts across the country. Like, man, we really can't do this much longer. We're already starting to feel the impact.
Yeah, especially diesel. That is a huge budget buster. I didn't even think of fire trucks and garbage trucks that, they budget out money for, the cost of fuel for their big trucks. And now that budget is blown because gas has become so much more expensive. I guess they're hoping that this is just a short-term problem. Do they have any solutions right now?
So here's what they're doing, and this is, just some of the folks in, either school districts or even some of the fire departments I've talked to. They're reallocating funds, right? So they'll take money from a different bucket and, use it here as opposed to there. For example, in South Texas, there was one school district, and it was crazy. I was like, they said that they had spent $10,000 more on gas, on fuel for their buses than they had the previous month. And, some districts, some, organizations, they can, go on for a while, but it can only be so long. So they're hoping for the best, but they're preparing for the worst. So they're, long term, it's like, okay, so where are we going to have to make cuts? Where are we going to have to figure out, are we going to have to dip into our rainy day fund? I kid you not, I was on my way to my live shot this morning. I passed a garbage truck, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, it's costing 2 or 3 times as much to fill that thing up right now just to pick up all the garbage, and you got to pick up the garbage. And then sure enough, we were outside the fire station, and 2 or 3 different fire trucks had to respond to emergencies. And then you got ambulances, which I didn't even think about. The ambulances, which idle, because that's, kind of like an industry standard, they're sitting there idling for hours on end outside of hospitals, outside of bases. And now they're even, trying to figure, all right, so maybe if we don't idle for as long, maybe if we just turn the car off, we'll save some money, save some gas, and maybe that'll help us down the road. I think everybody's just kind of watching and waiting to see, what happens with the war in Iran, what happens with the Strait of Hormuz, and, just kind of holding on with bated breath.
Yeah, interesting. I should mention oil prices are down a little bit this morning, but really interesting coverage of all the effects and the different entities that are feeling the effects of the high gas prices. News, weather, and traffic next. When we come back, political analyst Stephen Lawson live in studio on The Mark Arum Show.
Saturday, April 11th, the Eagle Theater in Sugar Hill will step back in time with the Chi-Town Transit Authority, a tribute to the music of Chicago. Chi-Town features a tight horn section along with the dynamic vocal harmonies that Chicago is famous for. Experience Chi-Town Transit Authority, a tribute to the music of Chicago, at the Eagle Theater in Sugar Hill on Saturday, April 11th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets on sale now and going fast at ChiTownBand.com. That's ChiTownBand.com.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here from my friends at Southern Exteriors. Most homeowners don't realize that the industry standard for a labor warranty is only a year or 2. To the team, my friends at Southern Exteriors, that's an insult. They provide at least a 10-year labor promise on every siding, roofing, and window project they do. That is a full decade of them standing behind their work. In fact, they have an entire department dedicated solely to warranties. Their only job is to pick up the phone and make the situation right if a question pops up in year 5, year 7, or even year 10. And let's face it, your house goes through a lot in a Georgia decade. Between the intense heat, the humidity, and unpredictable storms, you need a team that stays in your corner long after the trucks pull out of the driveway. Choose the team that I chose that actually stands behind their work and take 10% off your next siding, roofing, or window project. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. That's southernexteriors.co.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Access to affordable credit helps me pay my employees, but I don't really need it.
Inflation is killing me. But who cares? Big retailers are making record profits. That's why we support the Durbin Marshall credit card bill.
See? Banks and credit unions help small businesses make payroll. This bill would cut the vital resources they need,
while increasing megastore profits. They deserve it, don't they?
Tell Congress, stop the Durbin Marshall money grab for corporate megastores.
Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in store. We'll bring your groceries right to you in our refrigerated trucks, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save $20 on your first Kroger pickup or delivery order of $75 or more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Be honest, when was the last time your home was inspected for termites? Well, you're not alone. Hey, it's Mark Arum with Matt Breda from Breda Pest Management.
Did you know 75% of Georgia homes do not have termite protection? If that's you, what's stopping them from finding your home? Termites are the most destructive bug. They eat 24/7, 365.
Leaving your biggest investment unprotected is tempting termite trouble.
They're called silent destroyers because they could be eating your home right now and you would never know. Unless Breda thoroughly inspects inside and out with infrared cameras and microwave technology for early detection, giving you total peace of mind.
Get termite protection from Breda and your rate is locked in for 10 years. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. BREDA pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. It was a rough morning commute on 2 busy stretches of the perimeter.
Two deadly accidents, one in Sandy Springs, another near the airport, created major backups for the morning drive. Police in Clayton County confirm a pedestrian was struck and killed on I-285 near Riverdale Road. There's no word on any charges. And around that same time, Sergeant Giovanni Gomez says one man was killed on I-285 near New Northside Drive.
The vehicle appears to have left the roadway and struck the guardrail, and an adult male was found deceased inside the vehicle.
Multiple lanes were closed for each investigation. Police are withholding the names of the victims in both accidents. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, let's talk about your weather. It's going to be nice today, partly cloudy and isolated pop-up shower storms possible. And when I say nice, I mean warm. Afternoon highs around 85. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast with WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards to see if this warmth is going to stay with us. That comes your way in just over 2 minutes. Forecasters say that the weather chances for a launch of the Artemis II rocket are about 80% tonight, that the rocket at Kennedy Space Center is set to take off. 4 astronauts aboard. They will go around the moon and back. That's the farthest humans have ever flown from Earth. Reporter Troy Campbell is checking out a spot where thousands of campers are waiting to see the liftoff.
I'm so lucky we're going to be here.
David Lane is visiting Jetty Park from New Hampshire. He says the campsite is in high demand for Wednesday's possible launch, but he's thankful he's secured a spot.
We're so lucky to be able to come down here and get this. It's a niche down here. I think there's 40 campers outside the campground, and we always prefer to stay out here.
Lane says he's seen launches before, but never with astronauts on board.
Oh, it never gets old to see the rockets go up off the Space Center.
The launch window opens at 6:24 tonight. We will have live coverage of the countdown and launch right here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. Happening now, the Supreme Court hearing oral arguments on President Trump's executive order to restrict birthright citizenship. The president attending this hearing, White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi, is following.
This is just the latest Trump policy that has made its way to the court, that he is asking for them to uphold this overturning or reestablishing of birthright citizenship.
The president argues children born to people who are in the U.S. illegally or temporarily do not qualify for American citizenship. President Trump's going to be addressing the nation tonight at 9 o'clock, focusing on an update involving the military campaign against Iran and its impact on nations around the Persian Gulf, as well as oil and gasoline prices worldwide. The president, again, speaking tonight at 9 o'clock. You can catch him here live on WSB. The Jewish celebration of Passover begins tonight. It commemorates the liberation of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Passover is celebrated from today, April 1st through the 9th. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 285 at 46,627. So the Dow's up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ is up more than 1%. And the S&P is also in the green. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay in the 24-hour traffic center.
All right, Sabrina, Brig is not moving. Here are units with it. Still in the left center lane. Been this way for about 20 minutes or so on the west side perimeter. Really slowing things up on the inner loop, leaving Hollowell Parkway, trying to get past where the big rig hasn't moved out of that left center lane at Paces Ferry Road, exit 18. A long, slow ride into downtown Atlanta, north of the airport, still from 166 Langford Parkway up to I-20. We've eased out the delays on I-20, fortunately, through East Atlanta. Just a tap of the brakes now westbound, leaving Moreland Avenue. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A mix of sun and clouds today and very warm, high 85. Lows tonight will be mild in the low 60s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-80s. Few pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Friday with a high near 80.
72 degrees in Brookhaven and Sandy Springs, 73 in Loganville. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Don't be late because you crowdsourced your commute with a navigation app.
Heads up crash involving several vehicles.
Depend on us
To make sure you get where you need to be on
Alternates
time.
needed this morning between Buford and Swanee.
Local and dependable traffic 24 hours a day, 7 days a
Some
week.
of the alternates to get you around this include Memorial Drive in East Ponce.
WSB Triple Team
A car has
Traffic.
flipped over 20 westbound.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3.
President Trump commenting on the Iran war. Still to come. We'll continue our team coverage. Plus, next, live in studio, political analyst Stephen Lawson. 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
Hola, I'm Carlos Franco, sales associate at Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. My job is to make sure you have the best Lexus buying experience ever, in English or in Spanish. I'll be here every step of the way. We treat our guests like family at Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Call 800-NEW-LEXUS.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
I know about a lot of things in life, but most importantly, I know what I don't know, and I don't know anything about electrical repair. Hey, it's Mark Arum here, back from my pals at Reliable. Do you need electrical repair? Do you need a chandelier hung or a panel upgrade? Do what I do and get expert electrical repair backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee and no service call fee with approved repair. A company you can trust, my friends at Reliable. Special limited time offer, guys. Keep your home safe with a 79-point electrical safety inspection that identifies loose wires, worn breakers, corrosion in your main panel, or outdated smoke alarms. Only $49 gives you real peace of mind. No hidden fees or extra charges for after hours or weekends, and same-day service is available. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Book Now button or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
No hot water, leak, or clog slowing you down? At Moncrief Ace Hardware Home Services, we bring helpful to the home with same-day water heater service and reliable plumbing repairs. Bring comfort back to your home. Local folks, straight answers. Powered by Ace Hardware. MoncriefAir.com.
10:37 on this fast-moving Wednesday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Welcome back, friends. Coming up in 15 minutes, we're going to check in with Bloomberg News. 11:07, Deborah's got a pair of tickets to see Willie Nelson and Friends. And 11:37, we got tickets to see Dave Matthews. And right after we give away the Dave Matthews Band tickets, we're going to talk to Greg Rhodes from WDBO in Orlando, Florida, previewing the Artemis II launch. That's tonight, Deborah, right? 6:40-ish p.m.?
Yeah, ish, right?
Ish. So I assume I'm going to make a managerial decision here and say during the Von Hessler doctrine, if the launch goes off, the news team will break in and bring that to you live. I can say with confidence, though, at 9 p.m., President Trump's address to the nation, you will definitely hear the president's speech live here on 95.5 WSB. All right, now that we got that out of the way, joining us live in studio, political superstar, political analyst Stephen Lawson in studio. You and I were just talking about the Braves. I'm excited. Pretty decent start. Drake Baldwin's mashing. I can watch the games now thanks to Xfinity and Braves Vision. What I find, do you have Braves Vision? Have you been watching it?
Yeah.
So, like, I'll go to sleep at night with the Braves game on, and I'll wake up in the morning, and there's no other programming. It's just I wake up and it's like the next game is tomorrow. It's like they just have the games on.
They do, and I totally got sucked in because I bought the Braves Vision and MLB TV package bundle. Yeah. You and I both do fantasy baseball. Yeah. It's like I'm all the way in.
Yeah. Do you haven't even because I'm struggling to find time for the show. Do you have time to do
hard.
Political stuff?
It's hard.
It's tough during baseball season. All right, I want to start with new Democratic poll numbers. I don't know the validity of these. I pulled them off Shelley Winter's Facebook page, so I'm just prefacing that. But maybe you've seen it. A poll obtained by NJ Hotline showing the Democratic governor primary. Keisha Lance Bottoms topping the list at 32%, followed by Jason Estevez, former Georgia state senator, at 14%, former lieutenant governor, former Republican Jeff Duncan at 12%, and Michael Thurman at 11%. Does that vibe, these poll numbers vibe with what you're hearing and seeing?
Yeah, I think so. We've talked for a while, Mark, about Keisha, the former Atlanta mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, being in the pole position, being the front runner in that race, but there was a separate race for second place. Who was going to emerge from that crowded field? Jason Estevez clearly making a move. I think he's surging. We also saw in the past couple weeks that Michael Thurman got a couple big endorsements from Andrew Young and former Democrat Governor Roy Barnes. I think that's a boost for his campaign. And then Jeff Duncan is continuing to raise some money. I do think Estevez is making a surge. I think that there's a lot of momentum right now around his campaign. I think the question is, can he get, or any of these other people get anywhere close to the 30-35% that Keisha Lance Bottoms is getting? And then what does that look like in a runoff where that race is likely headed?
But, the internal polls we saw a month ago, it was possible we wouldn't see a runoff. Like Keisha Lance Bottoms was polling north of 50%. With these latest poll numbers, if they're correct, it looks like runoff's an inevitability at this point.
I think with that many people on the ballot, it is. I think you're going to see that on the Republican side as well, where the math it makes it very, very difficult for even any person, even if they're in a strong front runner position, to hit that 50% plus one threshold.
Are the Dems going to start spending money? Or are they? And I'm just not seeing it.
Well, that's a question, right? And we've talked about this, where you've got Keisha Lance Bottoms in that position, but the question is, with the limited resources that the rest of the field is in, they have to make the decision, do I use the money that I have, do I use the limited resources I have to go after her, to try to bring her back down to earth, or to boost myself? It's a tough spot to be in. I think any candidate that emerges in second place is going to have to play their hand correctly and have to use their dollars wisely coming down the stretch.
Well, if you're Estevez, Duncan, Thurman, I mean, spend it or lose it, because if you don't finish number two, then you don't get to that primary. So if I would advise him, if you have cash on hand, you got to get to number two at least, or else the game's over.
Yeah, and again, layered on top of that is all of this money that is getting spent on the other side of the aisle in this Burt Jones, Rick Jackson, diminishes and dilutes the potency of their resources. And it makes it even harder for them to break through. That's why I think Keisha Lance Bottoms is clearly in the front runner seat, and it's going to be really tough on that fight for second place on the Democrat side.
On the Republican side, gloves officially are off. I mean, we heard last half hour, Rick Jackson commercial here going after Burt Jones and Chinese vape pens, and that's the second set of spots that I've seen that is criticizing Burt Jones, and I didn't know that he owned land that was used by gas stations. There was one about legalizing gambling in these gas stations. He's getting paid, and the last the commercial we heard last half hour, that's a Rick Jackson ad. Like it's not a PAC. It's like, hey, I'm Rick Jackson. I approve this message. Gloves officially off here.
Yeah, and we talked about on the Democrat side, those candidates having to make that decision. Do I go negative or do I go positive? Rick Jackson doesn't have to make those decisions because of the resources that he has, because of his self-funder status. He's able to go positive and negative. I do think that right now that there is, on the Republican side, there's a little fatigue on the negative ads. I think that there's a desire for a lot of Republican voters to hear messages. Tell me what you believe in, what you're for, what you're fighting for, your background, your record. I think when Rick Jackson has done that in his ads, it's been very effective. I think the lieutenant governor is going to also have to do that coming down the stretch, talking about his record on the income tax, on school choice. He's got a lot of things he can talk about. I think he's going to have to message those positive, proactive things more heavily down the stretch.
Political analyst Stephen Lawson joining us live in studio here on the Mark Arum Show. Saw a TV spot, an endorsement spot for Rick Jackson from Newt Gingrich, who is, historically a historic figure in Republican politics in Georgia. Does he have the same... Does his endorsement have the same impact it might have had 15 or 20 years ago?
Probably not, but I do think it's a boost for Rick Jackson's campaign. Obviously, you've seen a lot of the attacks from Burt Jones' campaign saying, hey, Rick Jackson is not a real conservative. He's a fraud. He's, not, he's a Johnny-come-lately kind of Republican. I think the endorsement from Newt Gingrich helps bolster some of Rick
bona
Jackson's
fides.
his bona fides and kind of inoculate him a little bit from some of those attacks. So I do think it was helpful in that respect. And look, there's a lot of voters in our state, particularly older voters, that still hold Newt Gingrich in very high regard. And so I do think that was definitely a boost for the Rick Jackson campaign.
There was one attack ad against Jackson, and I'm sorry because I don't remember if it was an official Burt Jones ad or a PAC ad going after Mr. Jackson's previous campaign donations that don't square up with the far right angle, or at least the very conservative angle that he's taking. Again, I don't know if that. Have you seen that ad? Do you know that I'm talking about? I don't know if that was a Burt Jones ad or a PAC ad, but I mean the fists are flying.
They are.
Is this an inevitability that there will be a runoff as well?
I think so. Yeah, I think on the Republican side, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Rick Jackson and Burt Jones in a runoff. I think the writing is on the wall on that. I think we've talked about, Mark, on your show, Attorney General Chris Carr and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Attorney General Chris Carr is up with a new public safety ad that I thought it was a positive ad that I thought was really well done. I don't know if public safety, though, is a big vote determinant in Republican primary politics. Obviously, we've talked about the economy and affordability are number one on people's minds. So I think that's the message that people want to hear. I think that's what Burt Jones and Rick Jackson are talking about. And I think those are the two that will end up in a runoff.
Sign it down! I'm assuming you're going to be out of pocket tomorrow, not available to be contacted. Sign
on and off. On and off. Yeah, we've got Sine Die coming, obviously, the last day, the General Assembly's legislative session. Lots of things still going on. These last 2 days are really where the rubber meets the road on a lot of legislation. We've got big ticket items. We've got property taxes. We've got income taxes. We've got insurance reform. There's a number of things. The Speaker's priority literacy bill did pass yesterday, which was a huge boost for him. I think that's going to have a generational impact on our young learners in the classroom, and kudos to him for getting that done.
So Capitol reporter Jonathan O'Brien will be joining us tomorrow live on the show for Sine Die. Any excuse I can to just play Sine Die. I just love that. So he'll be covering it, but you're there. Piccadilly text line's open. If you hear anything, see anything, feel free to text me and I'll get it right on the air.
Absolutely.
All right. Dentons.com. Go Braves. Political analyst Stephen Lawson. Good luck tomorrow, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Caffeinate yourself. It could be a long day.
That's
under
right.
the Gold Dome. All right. 10:47 on the Mark Arum Show. When we come back, we're going to check in with Reed Pickert from Bloomberg News. Continue our coverage of the Iran war. Right now, though, continue our coverage of the ride around town. Live with the latest traffic info. Smile and Mark McKay.
A slow ride into downtown, north of the airport. Traffic Trooper Charles, let us know. Crash, we see it on the jam cam now on the HOV Express Lane, 7585 northbound at University Avenue, exit 244. But it will still be slow. The connector will until you clear the I-20 interchange. A little slow in northwest Atlanta, leaving Northside Drive to 17th Street on I-75 southbound. West Side Perimeter, glancing at the jam cam. Yep, tractor trailer is still stopped, not moving out of the left center lane. Hero unit still with it on 285 northbound. The inner loop at exit 18 Paces Ferry Road. That's slowing all lanes on 285 north, leaving Bolton Road. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Get over it. He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Because he's a man and he can get things done.
Yes. Eric Von Hessler.
This is something that the feminist will not deal with.
Today at 3.
Yeah, I know. You don't care about anything. What do you care about? What is it that you care about?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Looking for something this weekend? Head to Lakewood 400 Market, where shopping feels like an adventure. Shop over 500 booths packed with home decor, fashion, art, collectibles, and one-of-a-kind finds. Grab a bite, bring a dog, make a day of it. Lakewood 400 Market. Discover something you didn't know you were looking for.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, Delta Classical Concerts, featuring Rachmaninoff's First Symphony. And Jennifer Coe performing Philip Glass's Violin Concerto No. 1, April 9th and 10th at Symphony Hall. Tickets at aso.org.
Leaving your home unprotected from termites is just tempting trouble. Hey, it's Mark Arum with Matt Breda of Breda Pest Management.
75% of Georgia homes do not have termite protection, but termites are the most destructive bug of all. They eat 24/7, 365. They have no days off.
Get termite protection from Breda, and your rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Mega Warrior Clay Fuller.
He's an incredible young guy. We want to vote for Clay. He's a total winner.
Clay Fuller will stand with President Trump and take the fight to the D.C. radicals screwing up this country. This April 7th, vote for Trump-endorsed Clay Fuller for Congress. Conservatives for American Excellence Incorporated paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. ConservativeSforAmericanExcellence.com.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter for RJ's Auto Body Plus. Now, listen, here's a scenario. This happens every day in Atlanta. A person gets in a wreck, you file a claim with your insurance, then the insurance steers you to their preferred auto body shop for an estimate. It's a short list. They do this because these places are in bed with the insurance companies. They work with the insurance companies to cut corners on your repairs. Do not do this. If you get sick, do you go where your insurance company tells you to go? If you are hurt in an accident, do you go to an attorney where your insurance company tells you to go? No, you go where you're going to get the best care for you. RJ's Auto Body Plus works in your best interest, not the insurance company. Better service, better parts, and paint. And in most cases, a more timely manner. They'll even come get your car and tow it in. Family owned in Marietta, Georgia by my friends Jeff and Edith. Search RJ's Auto Body Plus or 770-955-5020.
Georgia homeowners, quick question. When was the last time you paid full retail for anything? Not your TV, not your phone, not your car. So why are people still paying full retail for windows? Hey, it's Ray, founder of Window Comfort, and most homeowners don't realize this. Big window brands mark their prices up 30 to 50% just for the name. You're not buying better windows, you're buying their advertising budget. Here at Window Comfort, we cut out the brand tax and we go factory direct. That's how we deliver premium windows for thousands less. And to kick off 2026, we're making it stupid not to check. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, free installation, and no payments until 2028. Don't be the homeowner who paid full price. You have nothing to lose and everything to save. Go to windowcomfort.com and get your free, no-pressure estimate today.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
It demeans the priceless and profound gift of American citizenship. It operates as a powerful pull factor for illegal immigration.
That's John Sawyer, U.S. Solicitor General. We are monitoring the Supreme Court oral arguments concerning birthright citizenship and the 14th Amendment. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Good news thus far on Wall Street. Everything is up. Sadly, unfortunately, so are our mortgage rates. Covering the story from Bloomberg News, joining us live, Reed Pickett. Reed, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Mortgage rates higher, 7th-month high of 6.57%. 6.57%, he tried to say. What's causing these mortgage rates to creep up, and up?
Yeah, so we've seen mortgage rates increase sharply in recent weeks. So over the past 4 weeks alone, rates have climbed nearly half a percentage point, which is the biggest such rise since 2024. That's because mortgage rates are tied to Treasury yields, which have surged in recent weeks as the war with Iran has led folks to expect higher inflation. People expect higher inflation because, as folks see at the gas pump, oil prices have risen quite high. They've since receded a bit, but that just kind of fear of inflation spiking in the coming months has really been putting pressure on those yields and thus ultimately on mortgage rates as well.
So the war in Iran impacting treasury yields, which is impacting the mortgage rates, which I assume is going to impact the real estate market, that, we might see home sales dip.
It's certainly possible. So what we've seen in the data so far is that, the lower financing costs that we saw at the start of the year really helped spur this wave of refinancing in the first 2 months of 2026 and offered some support to buyer activity. But that's effectively gone now as the housing market is heading into the spring selling season. So in terms of looking in the months ahead, we'll be keeping an eye on mortgage rates. People are very cognizant of where the rates are and how they're moving in any given week, and really trying to take those opportunities to buy houses when they can. But the housing market has been struggling for a while now, both with the fact that rates have been so high, and that's really kept a lot of buyers on the sidelines, and it's also kept a lot of folks who might otherwise have put their house on the market, kept them from moving too, because they're looking around and seeing higher rates and thinking, well, I should probably just stay in my house.
If we rewind back to about 6 months ago, Reed, we hoped that we might see some more rate cuts from the Fed, but a lot has happened in the last 6 months, and I would imagine the Fed is not going to decide to cut rates anytime soon.
So one of the main changes in the dynamic that we've seen in terms of the war is that investors now expect that the Fed will keep interest rates higher for longer. It's still possible, obviously, if there's a turn in the labor market, if things start to weaken there, that you could see the Federal Reserve cut rates. But right now, what you've seen economists do is push out those expectations for their rate cuts. So while they may have expected them originally more around mid-year this year, they may not be expecting them towards kind of the fall or the end of this year now. But there's still a lot that's unknown about the conflict and how long it will last and what its ultimate economic implications will be. And Federal Reserve officials have been really careful kind of not to tie their hands and to keep their options open so that they can respond to the economy as they see fit.
Reed Pickert, Bloomberg News. Reed, great insight. Thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Reed Pickert, U.S. economy team leader at Bloomberg News. All right, when we come back, going back to the Supreme Court, monitoring the oral arguments in the birthright citizenship case. We'll update the war in Iran and some big local stories to discuss. All of that straight ahead on The Mark Arum Show.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. In a perfect world, when you have a plumbing issue, you want a plumber that answers the phone when you call, shows up on time, respects your home, and tells you exactly what needs to be done, quotes you a price, and does the job right the first time. They appreciate your business, and Superior Plumbing becomes your plumber for life. Call Superior Plumbing to come fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-422-PLUM.
Mom's home cooking. Thoughtful, caring, and made with love. Wouldn't it be great if home improvement companies did that? Painting Plus does.
Hi, it's Charlie, owner of Painting Plus. For 3 decades, we've taken that same personal, thoughtful, and caring approach to your home's exterior remodel.
Locally owned Painting Plus. The plus means anything and everything exteriors at the highest quality. Your complete exterior solution.
Trust the plus. PaintingPlus.com.
My wake-up call came 3 years ago. Like many of you out there, I was savoring some time with my parents. It's Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. I remember we were preparing a meal, and I saw my dad struggling with a boiling pot on the stove. That was the moment I knew I had to get into action on the home care options for my parents. Have you seen some red flags recently with your folks? Like them struggling with day-to-day tasks, being a little confused, having trouble remembering to take their meds. If your aging parents are showing signs, but they want to age in place in the comfort of their homes, please Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta and request a consultative call. It's free, and it's a crucial step towards your parents getting what they want and need, allowing you, the child, to do your role and just love them. Google Four Seasons Home Care. That's Four Seasons Home Care.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
If you live through an Atlanta summer, you know your AC has to be ready. That's why I recommend Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you right now. You can get any size AC, just $69.99 a month with zero down. And with their Comfort Club, repairs, maintenance, even filters are included for life. You can schedule your free consultation online at reliableair.com. Reliable Heating and Air, always here for you.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Lots of excitement today for the launch of the Artemis 2 rocket. Forecasters saying the weather chances are about 80% in favor of a launch tonight. The rocket at Kennedy Space Center set to take off with 4 astronauts on board. They'll take a trip around the moon and back, the farthest humans have ever flown from Earth. Reporter Troy Campbell is there. He's with a crowd of campers who are waiting to see the liftoff.
But I got a feeling this one's going to live up and exceed expectations.
Now what's next? Campers tell us they hope the weather cooperates.
Every morning when you watch the news, it's the weather talks about the launch, 80% chance tomorrow, so it's a pretty cool thing.
Now the launch window starts at 6:24 tonight. We will have live coverage right here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. Our weather here today, partly cloudy and isolated pop-up shower storms possible and very warm. We're headed for a high of 85 this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Well, it was an awful commute in for many today. We had 2 deadly accidents on I-285 in Sandy Springs. One man is dead after his car left the roadway near New Northside Drive. The cause of that crash is under investigation. On the south side, Clayton County Police confirm a pedestrian was hit and killed on 285 near Riverdale Road. That investigation also continuing this morning. No names have yet been released. Happening now, President Trump is sitting in on today's Supreme Court hearing over birthright citizenship. He arrived at the courthouse this morning, making him the first sitting president to attend oral arguments at the Supreme Court. The president signed an executive order on his first day back in office to end birthright citizenship for children born to parents in the U.S. illegally or temporarily. Opponents to Trump's plan have argued that that goes against the Constitution's 14th Amendment. A decision is expected sometime in June. Conflict in the Middle East. Iran threatening to strike U.S. companies in the Middle East. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard accusing companies including Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Boeing, IBM, and NVIDIA of contributing to attacks that have led to the deaths of Iranian citizens and said that their operations in the Middle East would be considered legitimate targets. The statement also warned employees of those operations to leave their workplaces by tonight and warned civilians living nearby to relocate. The president addressing the nation tonight at 9 o'clock will carry President Trump live here on WSB, so check back. Experts predict that antibiotic-resistant infections could rival cancer as the leading cause of death by the year 2050. And they blame it all on those antibacterial soaps, wipes, and sprays that we've all been using. A study from an international team led by the Green Science Policy Institute finds that common household products provide no added health benefits and instead are leading to antibiotic-resistant infections that already kill more than 1 million people each year worldwide. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 403 at 46,744. NASDAQ also in positive territory, up almost 1.5. The S&P's up almost a full percent. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Not so good on the west side perimeter. Stalled big rig travel advisory. It's in 2 left lanes, 285 northbound, Paces Ferry Road, exit 18. You're jammed up back to Hollowell Parkway. At times, they're holding all lanes. Try to figure out how to get this truck out of the roadway. If you head up through downtown as an alternate, that's bumper to bumper as well. 75-85 north from Highway 166, Langford Parkway, just up past I-20. And you got the left lane construction in DeKalb County, 20 eastbound, just east of Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and very warm today. High 85. Lows tonight settling to the low 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and another warm day. Highs in mid-80s. A little more pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity for Friday. High near 80.
73 degrees in Alpharetta, 75 in Stockbridge. It's 73 in Riverdale. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you. I stand alone.
11:04 on an extremely Supreme Court heavy news day Wednesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Just a second to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Willie Nelson. 30 minutes from now, we're going live to Florida, the Sunshine State. Greg Rhodes from WDBO is going to preview the Artemis 2 launch, the big Artemis 2 launch. We return to the moon-ish. Hopefully, if all things go right. But I mentioned the Supreme Court. If we can listen in, arguments on the birthright citizenship, U.S. Solicitor General John Sawyer, I believe, talking to Justice Amy Coney Barrett right now.
Returns on objectively verifiable things, which is immigration status. Are you lawfully present but temporarily present, or do you have an illegal status? So those kind of taking evidence, so to speak, under subjective intent wouldn't be done. And as to the constitutional point, obviously domicile is baked into a lot of constitutional and legal concepts, and there may be situations where facts are determined. But if you look at the guidance that all the agencies did after this court in Costa said the agency could go forward and issue guidance, the guidance provides, I think, very, very clear, objective, verifiable approaches to doing this. And so as a practical matter, I don't think it's presented by this executive order.
Thank you, General.
Justice obviously, very brilliant attorney. Give that guy a cough drop. Give him, Ricola.
Hey, it's pollen season, all right?
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I've been getting whacked with pollen, Deborah. I've been getting pollen headaches every night. When I get home and I walk soba and
You're supposed to take a shower after you go walking.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Really? Shower after?
They'll tell you, if you're out, go take a shower if you've been
Get that
out in the
stuff
pollen.
off of you.
Yeah.
Heard.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's weird. I'm not sneezing. My nose, I just get these pollen headaches and I dislike them very much. All right, let's give away tickets, Deborah. First set of tickets are what?
First set of tickets to see Willie Nelson and family at Synovus Bank Amphitheater at Chastain Park on April 23rd.
Phenomenal concert. We're going to take it easy. Vinny's double dipping today. So the fifth caller to 404-872-0750, caller number 5 to 404-872-0750, wins a pair of tickets to see Willie Nelson and friends, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and WS. Do you know who the friends are?
Sometimes
Snoop?
it changes.
Could be Snoop.
Snoop.
Yeah.
You never know. Snoop pops up everywhere. It kind of changes depending on where he's at in the country.
All right. I really want to go to that concert. What day is it again?
April 23rd.
Oh, that's coming up. I'll be here.
Yep.
All right. Promotions, if you're listening, Mark Arum and friends want to go to Willie Nelson and friends on April 23rd. All right, a couple of local stories, Deborah, before we get back to the Supreme Court and the Iran war. Even as a child, I was not a big fan of water parks. There was one in Connecticut, Lake Compounds. We used to go there on field trips and water slides, and I was just like, it didn't do it for me.
Well, you grew up near the ocean.
True, yeah. So the appeal of the water park was never in my genetic makeup, and I don't want to steal anyone's joy. I know people absolutely love them, and if you do love water parks, you're going to be happy. There's a new one coming to the metro area.
Yeah, this one's going to be down in Henry County, and it is brand new. They want to get it open by June, so right when it's peak heat summer here, perfect for a water park. And it's not just a water park. Now, you are going to have the slides and everything. You're going to have a lazy river, but it's also going to have an indoor competition pool. So think of all the swim meets, things like that. They'll also have an outdoor
very
pool.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's not just going to be probably what you think of for kids. For me, I think of Wisconsin Dells, and it's all just playgrounds in the water. Mm-hmm. They are going to have therapeutic classes, aerobic, aqua workout, low. So it's not just a water park. It's kind of it'll be indoor pools as well. So it's a little bigger than just a water park.
Forgive me if you already said it. Where is it going to be located?
Henry County.
Okay, south side.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about the extreme heat. We didn't have that in
exactly.
Connecticut.
We don't
so
have
the
that
appeal for the water park in the south. When I used to go to Lake Compound, I don't even know if that's the name of the. Obviously, it didn't leave an indelible mark in my memory when we went to the water park in Connecticut. But I remember on field trips, all the kids would go to the water slides. I'd go to the snack bar. So if we can,
there will be an area for snacks and rooftop concessions as well.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah. So eventually, do we have a name of this? The name of the water park?
It just says New Aquatic Center.
New Aquatic.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to know what's going to be available at the snack bar. And we've been covering this story for a while on the Mark Arum Show.
Wayfair, you've got just what I need.
I saw them painting the sign off of Howell Mill. Apparently, that new Wayfair Atlanta store has officially opened, Deborah.
It is officially open, and you know where it's at. It's at the old Walmart on Howell Mill in 75. I still really don't know exactly where that is. But, yeah, it is brand new, and they're encouraging people to come in. You'll be able to sit down, test out furniture, play with some of the stuff that's there, kind of really feel and touch it as you want to decorate your home. Everything will be very hands-on, where normally it's all online, and you can't really tell online.
Yeah.
You can get an idea, but still not the same as actually seeing it. So they're encouraging people to come in. And Just in case you're wondering, much like IKEA has a little restaurant, they do too.
Oh,
it is
get
called
out.
it is called The Porch, and they're going to sell brunch items, sandwiches, salads, coffee, beer, and wine.
Wayfair, you've got just what
I'm going
I
to check it out.
need.
Actually, we do need, Maya's been hinting that we need a new couch or sofa, depending on.
Well, there you go.
The
You and Maya can go
nomenclature.
and you can go check out the porch area.
I just want to see how they redid the old Walmart. Because that used to be my Walmart. I used to love that Walmart. I want to see what they did. All right, so Wayfair officially now open. All right, back to the Iran war. President Trump might be signaling the U.S. mission is winding down, but Israel and Iran are trading airstrikes. Reporter Linda Gradstein has more from Jerusalem.
Israeli officials said more than a dozen people were wounded in an Iranian missile attack in the city of Bnei Brak near Tel Aviv, including an 11-year-old girl. U.S. and Israeli strikes continued across Iran, with reports saying that pharmaceutical companies and steel plants in Isfahan were hit. Israel also says it killed a top engineering official in the Quds Force, part of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards.
Linda Gradstein in Jerusalem. President Trump's going to address the nation tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. You will hear the address live here on 95.5 WSB, focusing on an update involving the military campaign against Iran and its impact on nations around the Persian Gulf, as well as oil and gasoline prices worldwide. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang spoke with the president by phone yesterday. Also has more with comments the president made in public.
President Trump said the U.S. continues to negotiate with Iran, but will soon be done with the war.
I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that goal has been attained. They will not have nuclear weapons. But we're finishing the job. And I think within maybe 2 weeks, maybe a couple of days.
In a phone interview, I asked the president if removing the enriched uranium that remains in Iran, a critical component to make a nuclear weapon, is a requirement to declare victory. Trump said, "I don't even think about it. That's so deeply buried, it's going to be hard for anybody."
That's the question I have. Again, we don't know how this war is going to go, how long it's going to go, how it's going to end. I've been saying since February 28th, a window's open for us for the first time in my lifetime to get a legitimate regime change in Iran and maybe the pathway to a democratic Iran, which I know the Persian people would absolutely love. We're there. We're in the region. I understand the want to pull out now and end this as quickly as we can and get oil prices back and the Strait of Hormuz open, but this might be an opportunity, the only opportunity in a generation to see a path forward for a democratic Iran. But I understand that would take boots on the ground. But back to the enriched uranium, if that's the goal for a non-nuclear Iran, if they still have the enriched uranium, President Trump said it's buried very deep. Yeah, but if they still have it, there's still the possibility that they can, weaponize that enriched uranium. Anyway, interesting stuff. Good news right now on the markets. A Dow is up 400 points. NASDAQ's up 300. It's 1.5%. Oil is down $2 a barrel. So good news there. This is not good news. And I talk about this, Deborah, there, but for the grace of God, go I, go thee, go we. When it comes to homelessness, I've said repeatedly, I've seen it happen where someone, their life's going on just fine, but there's a major medical issue or something dramatic in their family or something happens. And I don't think we recognize how close we all could be to being without a home, losing a job, a divorce, a tragic injury. Like, homelessness isn't like, oh, that'll never happen to me. Some of you, it might never happen. But I think for a large portion of us, if we get a string of bad luck, we're pretty close to homelessness, which I don't think is a good thing. I think it's a horrible thing. I think it's we need to be aware of. And I think this latest study, Deborah, reinforces what I've been warning folks for years, that homelessness isn't that far away for a lot of us. Most Americans are 3 months away from a financial collapse. That's big.
Yeah.
Most Americans.
So they're saying, most Americans say they can probably sustain about 3 months of finances if they lose their job or they have some type of medical emergency or there's just too many price hikes, which is kind of what's going on right now, that it only takes about $6,300 extra for people's lives just to be turned over. Like, again, most people say about 3 months. Some people say just one. and they would be stretched so financially thin that they would either lose their home, they maybe have to sell a car, pick up another job, or consider moving in with another family, getting roommates just to kind of make up
I'm
some
glad
of that
you mentioned
cost.
that because, like, obviously, I mean, that's stunning that most Americans are 3 months away from financial collapse. God forbid something bad happens, you don't have a job for 3 months, you're near ruin at that point. The safety net that you and I have, that Vinny Drip has, God forbid, Maya and I both lose our jobs, the house foreclosed on, whatever. We can move in with our parents, right? If God forbid, Deborah, anything happens, you could go live with your parents.
My mom has a room ready all the time. Yep.
So we have that safety net where, Deborah's not living on the street. I'm not living on the street. Vinny's already living with his parents. So you already know about that safety net. But I think that's stunning that most Americans are 3 months away from a financial collapse. So not to get all Clark Howard on you, but make sure, you pay yourself first. So if something bad does happen, you are prepared for that. Big local story here have been those DHS warehouse purchases, right? Social Circle, we had one. I forgot the other. Ellenwood, I believe. They've been buying these warehouses, the DHS, to use as detention centers for illegal immigrants. Apparently now they are pausing these warehouse purchases. What's the story behind this?
Big pause. About $38 billion were planned for these additional immigration detention warehouses. All of that has been stopped now, according to new Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. He wants to make sure that they're reviewing the policies, making sure they have everything in check before they go ahead and build all of these places. Because remember how we talked about they're going to build this huge place, and then what happens if there are no more?
Yeah,
like,
what are you
how
gonna
long
do?
are we going to actually need them? How many do we need? Do we need to build all these? So he's just going to make sure before they go and build all of them so quickly, building them correctly, making sure they're in the right locations, all the other safety concerns before they spend $38 billion building
So
them.
does this impact the ones they've already purchased, or is this just future warehouses and detention centers that, you know what I'm saying?
It says pause in general. It doesn't tell me if it's new.
They must have been listening to the show.
Yeah,
Tom
probably.
Holman and Mark Wayne Mullen apparently listening on the WSB radio app or the podcast, which Vinny posts every day after the show. They heard me, questioning, what are you going to do? You spend all this money and then there's no more illegal immigrants. What are you going to do with these, $100 million warehouses that keep scooping up? Do you flip them? What is one of those HGTV shows?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? House Hunters, House Fixers,
Hunter. I do love
whatever.
House Hunters, yeah.
Could that be a new HGTV show? Like,
I
all
would
right,
watch that.
we've got this empty migrant center now. What are we going to do? We'll flip it. And you have,
They put some crazy slide inside.
I don't know. Anyway, all right, so they're pausing it. Okay. Scott Slade joined us with some great numbers on that because I was wondering why we were paying $100 million for a piece of property that was worth $29 million. But Scott Slade broke it down, gave us some rationale on why the prices have been elevated for those DHS warehouse purchases, which are now on pause. We are going to pause briefly, come back, update the Supreme Court oral arguments and the Iran war. Right now, though, got to check the ride around town on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Good morning, Mark, and I can finally bring some better news to those that have been stuck in the traffic on the west side inner loop 285 northbound. That earlier stalled big rig that's been bogging you down at Paces Ferry, exit 18. They've got it out of the roadway. Everything is back open, so just hang in there if you're stuck in the backup. Those delays back to Hollowell Parkway should start to improve. 75, 85 northbound, also seeing some brake lights still in place from this morning's rush hour from starting just north of Highway 166 Langford Parkway up to Freedom Parkway, and 75 south on the brakes through Stockbridge from Highway 138 clearing Hudson Bridge Road. Traffic brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal where you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. That's Straight Talk Wireless on Verizon's 5G network. Find it exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app,
If you have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you
have the WSB
app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB
The
app.
95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Is your air conditioning system ready to answer the challenge of the hot and humid days we know are coming? Take advantage of this great offer from Ragsdale Heating and Air. Right now, you could take up to $1,700 off a new Carrier Home Comfort System, and that includes Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty on your new system. Ragsdale's the name I know you can trust for all your heating, air, plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs, too. They have a 4.9 Google rating and over 11,000 reviews. Go to RagsdaleAir.com or call them. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Chris, we're barreling through 2026, but it's still early, and that means it's still a great time to get organized in your financial life. And here's the good news for folks listening out there. Hoffman Financial Group is here to help with that, aren't we?
Yeah, so we make it simple, right? And it goes back to saving people time. Don't worry about you having to work with us. We work for you. So if you were to reach out to us, we would start with something as simple as the portfolio x-ray. Simple as far as your time that you need to provide us some data points on, but we'll take the hours and we'll apply our expertise to generate a pretty comprehensive look at your financial life, specifically your risk profile, the fees in your portfolio, the performance over last year, 3 years, 5 years, the last 10 years, against benchmarks. We'll also stress test it. Can we go back in time and say what would have happened to your portfolio during the Great Recession or the dot-com bubble that burst or the COVID correction? It'll give you an indication of how much your money is at risk. All of those components mixed into one simple 10 to 14 page report. We'll give you a copy of it. We'll walk you through it. And as I say, I have yet to see one that didn't have 2 or 3 golden nuggets, as I call them, of opportunity for you to contemplate possibly enhancing your financial future moving forward.
Make 2026 the year you take control of your financial life with this complimentary offer from Hoffman Financial Group. There's no cost for the portfolio x-ray, and the report is yours to keep. Call 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858 and online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey friends, imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out. But what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price did not change for 5 years? Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. You are guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get their best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings. So even though the kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. To get started, visit Xfinity.com or drop into an Xfinity store today. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call 404-383-4419. That's 404-383-4419 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now. 404-383-4419.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement,
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
If you've been seriously hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, I want you to call my friends, the accident attorneys at Sweet James. It's Mark Arum back with you. You know what matters to us. We take care of our own. Family matters. Community matters. And when something life-changing happens, you need a law firm that treats you like more than just a case number. That's Sweet James Accident Attorneys. There was a case where a city vehicle ran a stop sign at nearly 50 miles an hour. Crash caused really bad injuries. Family's life changed in just seconds. Sweet James took that case all the way to trial. They stood up for that family, presented the evidence, and the jury returned a record-breaking $17.4 million verdict. Now, they can't promise any outcomes. Every case is different. But when you're facing an injury from an accident, there's only one firm to call: Sweet James Accident Attorneys, the firm that treats you like family. Get a free case review at 800-9-MILLION. That's 800-9-MILLION, 800-900-0000, or sweetjames.com.
No other exterior project changes how every room in your home looks and feels, inside and out, like new windows.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus. We offer a wide selection of window styles, materials, and features for energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal.
Locally owned Painting Plus. The plus means anything and everything exteriors at the highest quality, like windows.
Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
11:25 on the Mark Arum Show. Congrats to Sandra from Peachtree Corner. She won tickets to see Willie Nelson and Friends. Sad day in music history. 42 years ago today, Marvin Gaye shot to death by his father in L.A. One of the greatest of all time right there, Mr. Marvin Gaye. Rest in peace, my friend. Deborah, this is big news for Vinny Drip. Easter coming up this Sunday. Drip, I don't know if you have Easter plans or not, but if you do, change them because Cracker Barrel has introduced their Easter feast.
Yes, they've got some heat and serve Easter meals. You don't have to worry about cooking. You can just order them there, take them home, heat them, and eat them at home. There's a couple different options. One of them is the feast, which is the ham, mac and cheese, carrots, mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, rolls, and 2 pies, apple and pecan. Then you also got the family dinner, which is kind of everything, but you don't have the pie. It's a little bit smaller than the feast, so no pie on that one. You've also got a prime rib dinner.
Oh,
so, yeah, prime rib
at Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, that also comes with macaroni, mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, rolls, and then a turkey dinner. So that turkey with all the other stuff, including some ham and green beans and macaroni again there. Yeah.
Can I sub out the hash brown casserole for the
Ashley will make you the hash
sides?
brown casserole.
Yeah, it's good. They're up there, the two. And I'm not going to declare a winner in the hash brown casserole battle between Ashley and Cracker Barrel, but they're both very good. There you go, Vin.
Which one you picking, Vin?
Yeah. Cracker Barrel Easter feast,
turkey feast.
Not to be confused with Deborah's Feaster, which is always a great event on the calendar. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, Deborah's got more tickets to give away. This time to see the Dave Matthews Band, and we're going to go live to the Kennedy Space Center, previewing the big Artemis 2 launch. That's all straight ahead on the Mark Arum Show.
Belinda Skelton here, and I'm with Troy Pensa. Took me up on my free offer of a heart scan from Virtual Imaging and has an incredible story to tell.
I had actually signed up for an Ironman triathlon. As a proactive measure, I went to Virtual Imaging to get my heart scan done. Turns out that my score was a little higher than anticipated. Luckily, my primary care physician took serious notice of it, referred me to a cardiologist. I had my stress test and found out I had 3 blockages.
You weren't having any symptoms.
As an athlete and somebody who's been active my entire life, I never thought that I would even have a remote blockage, but turns out that it's hereditary.
You didn't even experience any chest pain?
None whatsoever.
Wow, that's the scary part. What are you waiting for? Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan with few minimum requirements. If not for yourself, then do it for a loved one. Call now at 770-678-SCAN or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com. 770-678-SCAN.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on this family favorite. USDA Choice bone-in ribeye roasts are on sale now for just $8.99 a pound with your card. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Selling your home? You have a choice. You can wait, juggle showings, and hope for the best, or choose Orchard. Get cash up front to buy your next home first, then sell your old one for top dollar. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com.
This is Greg Truzinski of the Original Mattress Factory. OMF is kind of a unicorn in the mattress business. We build every mattress ourselves, right here in town, with quality materials that last. Then, we sell them directly to you, no middleman marking up the price. The result? Better quality mattresses for less money. That combination shouldn't exist, but it does. And you can see it for yourself by stopping by any of our locations around town. Or check us out at originalmattress.com.
There's a new law firm in town called Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. You've probably seen the billboards, maybe heard the name and wondering, what in the world is Sweet James? Guess what? Sweet James, a serious law firm delivering serious results, winning over $2 billion for injured accident victims. They know how insurance companies operate, and when you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle wreck, they step in and handle everything. They're sweet to you and tough on insurance companies. Call the attorneys at Sweet James, 800-9-MILLION, 800-900-0000, or at sweetjames.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage, your dealership alternative. Our top story, conflict in the Middle East. President Trump saying that he would bomb Iran, quote, back to the Stone Ages if the Islamic Republic does not open the Strait of Hormuz. His remarks in a Truth Social post today come a day after he said that he was nearly ready to wind down the war once he was sure Iran would not be able to build a nuclear weapon. The president also claimed today that Iran's president wanted a ceasefire, but Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson calling that claim false and baseless. President Trump addressing the nation tonight at 9. You'll be able to hear it live here. Your weather for today, partly cloudy, an isolated pop-up shower and storm is possible. Very warm, though, highs around 85. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. It was an awful commute this morning. We had 2 deadly accidents on 285 in Sandy Springs. A man was killed after his car left the roadway near Northside Drive. The cause of that crash is under investigation. On the south side, Clayton County Police confirming that a pedestrian was hit and killed on 285 near Riverdale Road. That investigation also continuing this morning. No names have yet been released. With the planned launch of Artemis II spacecraft from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, it'll send 4 astronauts around the moon and return them to Earth. There is a lot of excitement about a new era of space exploration. David Lane is from New Hampshire, and he's parked at the Jetty Park RV camp near the Kennedy Space Center.
We're so lucky to be able to come down here and get this. It's a niche down here. I think there's 40 campers outside the campground, and we always prefer to stay out here.
Now the launch window opens at 6:24 tonight. We'll have live coverage of the countdown and launch right here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. Happening now, President Trump sitting in on today's Supreme Court hearing over birthright citizenship. U.S. Solicitor General John Sauer arguing against the automatic citizenship clause.
It demeans the priceless and profound gift of American citizenship. It operates as a powerful pull factor for illegal immigration and rewards illegal aliens who not only violate the immigration laws, but also jump in front of those who follow the rules.
Now, Trump signed an executive order on his first day back in office to end birthright citizenship for children born to parents in the U.S. illegally or temporarily. Opponents to Trump's plan have argued that that goes against the Constitution's 14th Amendment. The president being at the courthouse today, making him the first sitting president to attend oral arguments at the Supreme Court. And correspondent Michael George reports this morning on how your siblings can actually help your mental health.
Having siblings can help you cope with loss in adulthood. A study published in the British Medical Journal found that after losing a parent, only children required more mental health medication than people with siblings. Notably, the more siblings a person had, the less likely they were to seek out mental health medications after a loss.
All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 405 at 46,746. NASDAQ also in positive territory, up more than a full percent. and the S&P's not far behind. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the 24-hour traffic center.
And Sabrina, the earlier stalled Big Rig, it cleared 285 northbound Paces Ferry Road, exit 18, but unfortunately one has stalled out in the backup on 285 north, the inner loop at South Atlanta Road, exit 16. This one's in the left lane, so those delays that I thought were going to improve leaving Hollowell Parkway and I-20 are not. And new trouble into Midtown, 85 southbound at Cheshire Bridge, Lenox Road. Just found a new crash on the jam cam. That's in multiple right lanes, already slow back to North Druid Hills. Consider Buford Highway to make your way down toward Midtown as an alternate there. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today and very warm, high 85. Lows tonight will be mild in the low 60s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-80s. Few pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Friday with a high near 80.
76 degrees in Conyers, 74 in Holly Springs, and it's 76 in Jefferson. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
How would you describe Eric Von Hessler?
You're prickly with the public
I'm
sometimes.
prickly? No, never with the public.
Eric Von Hessler.
I'm very nice to strangers. I'm very curmudgeonly with those who love me.
He's got plans for your ride home.
The demeanor of the entire thing is...
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
We're drinking tea on a bus.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I took some time to tell my wife, and then we told the kids when we could all be together. So it was about a month later. And when I told them, they erupted.
That's Victor Glover, the pilot of Artemis 2. Coming up next, we're going to go live to the Kennedy Space Center, and Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Dave Matthews Band. Straight ahead on The Mark Arum Show.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, Atlanta's engagement ring and wedding band destination since 1939. Why? Hand-picked diamonds that just shine brighter at a value that can't be beat. An unbelievable selection of engagement rings and wedding bands. And because we've been jewelers for generations, we can bring your dream ring to life with full custom abilities. So when it's time for the next chapter, come see Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939, D. Geller & Son, in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Hey friends, it's Mark Arum here. Do you want peace of mind when it comes to your home's electrical system? That's kind of a big deal. I want you to do what I did and schedule an appointment with Reliable, a company you can trust. An amazing limited time offer. Keep your home safe with a 79-point electrical safety inspection that identifies loose wires, worn breakers, corrosion in your panel, or outdated smoke alarms. Only $49 for real peace of mind. Book an appointment online at reliableair.com or call or text 770-594-9969.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is Amco Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in Amco just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to Amco.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, sufficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned Amco near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Saturday, April 11th, the Eagle Theater in Sugar Hill will step back in time with the Chi-Town Transit Authority, a tribute to the music of Chicago. Chi-Town features a tight horn section along with the dynamic vocal harmonies that Chicago is famous for. Experience Chi-Town Transit Authority, a tribute to the music of Chicago at the Eagle Theater in Sugar Hill on Saturday, April 11th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets on sale now and going fast at ChiTownBand.com. That's ChiTownBand.com.
Springtime means more road construction. It's Smile and Mark McKay. Road work plus a distracted driver could lead to a wreck. Been hit and hurt? You need the strong arm. John Foy and Associates. They'll treat you with respect and compassion, all with zero upfront cost. JohnFoy.com.
Why wouldn't we, even if we were to apply your own test, come to the conclusion that the fact that someone might be illegal is immaterial?
That's Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. As oral arguments continue in the birthright citizenship case, have not seen confirmation that President Trump is in the audience, but obviously a big story we're going to cover throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. Big chance for you to win right now, a chance to win a pair of tickets to see
Pair of tickets to see Dave Matthews Band at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on May 15th.
Fantastic. The band with Dave Matthews. Let's do the fifth caller again, Vinny. Fifth caller to 404-872-0750. Caller number 5 to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see the Dave Matthews Band, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. Right now,
Mike will be flying the Orion spacecraft, our Integrity spacecraft, in close proximity to our upper stage.
that's the commander of Artemis 2, Reed Wiseman. Huge launch scheduled for this evening. Joining us live from the Kennedy Space Center from our sister station, WDBO in Orlando, it's Greg Rhodes. Greg, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You've got to be over the moon. Oh, that was a bad pun. You got to be really excited that you get to cover this Artemis 2 launch. What do we need to know about the scheduled launch today?
Well, tonight they are scheduled a 2-hour launch window that happens at 6:24 tonight. So that's the first chance that they'd have to go up. That runs until about 8:24. Then the next launch availability wouldn't be until tomorrow. But today seems like the best day in that window, so they're looking at about an 80% go for weather tonight. They're watching a few winds that are coming in offshore this evening, but they don't see that to be too much of an issue. They are planning, like I said, 80% go weather-wise to get that launch up.
Do we know, and for folks that are listening that might not know, what is the purpose of this Artemis 2 mission?
So this is going to be the first lunar orbit that a human has made aboard any kind of spacecraft in 54 years, since 1972. So this is our first step getting back to a regular lunar landing. They're planning on that for Artemis 4. So they're going to do another trial run here in Artemis 3, where they're going to be testing a few more of those agencies out. But then come Artemis 4, that's when we're actually going to have a lunar landing. From there, starting to develop a moon base, which then leads to Mars.
So this is just a lunar orbit. No one's going to be touching ground. But again, first time since the early 70s that we've even done a lunar orbit. How long is this mission scheduled to last? Just the Artemis 2 launch for this evening?
Roughly 10 days.
Oh,
so
wow.
in about 6 days is their time frame that they're planning on being to the moon. They're going to do a full lunar orbit. So they're actually going to go around the backside of the moon. It'll be the furthest that a human's ever been away from the planet. So even though they aren't making that landing, they are breaking some records here.
That's crazy. So a 10-day mission, and is it a 4-member crew? How many folks are going up in space?
That's a 4-member crew. So 3 Americans and a Canadian. So it's the first Canadian actually to go to the moon as well.
So a lot of records could be broken here. Again, 6:24 p.m. the scheduled launch time. And Greg, it sounds like leading up to the launch, NASA officials seem pretty optimistic that this is, the launch will occur this evening.
That's right. So far from that refueling that they had earlier this morning at around 7:30, everything seemed good. They were concerned about some of those helium, or rather hydrogen leaks that they had earlier in the testing. That's why there's been this delay. But they had no issues with the parts that they have fixed, and they're good to go, it seems.
I grew up in the shuttle era of space exploration and NASA. Just paint a picture for us. How big a deal is this Artemis launch for the folks in Central Florida?
Well, they're expecting some 400,000 people to be out on the Space Coast here to watch this launch tonight. Again, as long as it goes up, we are sure optimistic about it. But about 400,000 people, a huge influx into the economy here in this part of the Central Florida area, into the Space Coast. And then also, they're really excited again to see that big orange tank back out on the pad. You mentioned the space shuttle. They used a lot of similar production from the space shuttle to put these boosters together. There's actually going to be 8.8 million pounds of thrust generated from these rockets. That dwarfs what was done with the space shuttle. So it'll be very interesting to see the rumble that you're going to actually be able to experience out here on the Space Coast.
And how many people do you say, Greg, are going to watch this?
They're calling for some 400,000 people to be in the area.
That's remarkable. Where are you going to be set up? Do you have is there a special area for media? What's your setup look like?
So we're currently at Jetty Park for our live coverage. I've got myself and Scott Inez here, who's our normal morning show host. He's doing a special edition of the show here until noon. But we'll be out here all night up until the launch. We'll actually have a great viewing angle here. It's called Jetty Park here in Central Florida. We also have a team member up at Kennedy Space Center there at the Media Center as well. So we've got a pretty good amount of coverage going on tonight.
Do me a favor and tell Scott I can still beat him in basketball. I know he's the basketball guy, but I can beat him in one-on-one. You don't have to do it right now, but at some point during the coverage.
I'll pass the word on.
Greg Rhodes from our sister station WDBO joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. I would imagine everything goes fine with the launch. You get the 10-day orbit. A lot of fingers going to be crossed, though, on the re-entry. If you can, we'll finish up with that. What's the re-entry plan look like?
That's right. So they will be landing in the Pacific for that recovery entry. There were some concerns leading into this launch that were regarding the heat shield after the first test through Artemis 1. They've corrected some of their re-entry angles, some of the re-entry depth, which is supposed to help reduce the amount of heat that's actually going to be affecting those heat shields. It will extend the amount of time that it will be in the atmosphere accepting that heat, but it will reduce the amount of the heat was the big key here. So they're going to be monitoring that on the re-entry. And then again, it's the first time that we've had man that far from the planet.
Yeah.
So they're going to be monitoring those astronauts once they do return for after effects as well.
Very jealous of this assignment. Greg, have the greatest of time, and maybe we'll get back on the show as this Artemis 2 journey around the moon continues. But fantastic stuff. Enjoy your time down there, my friend.
Look forward to it, Mark. Thanks.
There you go. Greg Rhodes from WD. That's pretty. All right, so some history. Again, I got it. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, but everything seems to be a go. First time, these astronauts will be the furthest from Earth than any other astronaut before.
Dark side of the moon.
Yeah. What are they going to see on the dark side of the moon? Do we do all Pink Floyd tomorrow on the show?
Sure.
And the first time a Canadian is going up or just navigating the moon? Or is that the first Canadian astronaut?
No, I don't think it's the first Canadian astronaut.
Canadian,
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's other Canadian astronauts, but the first one on this mission.
That's kind of exciting. I'm excited for this. All right, now I haven't gotten clarification from the powers that be, but the launch is scheduled for 6/24 if all things are a go. We got to cover it live, right? No, I mean, break in or have Von Hessler do it or the news team do it, but this is big.
Yeah, I guess as long as it goes to plan, right? Because
Yeah.
it's always not on time. If there's anytime we plan to do stuff live, it's
That's
always
true.
like 20 minutes later.
But NASA is not a politician, right? Like NASA
true.
I trust a politician less than NASA when it comes to getting somewhere on time.
We also have the president's speech tonight. We got to do that live. There's a lot of stuff happening today.
I'm getting word we are covering it live. I heard Sabrina say that.
All right, good. All right, yeah, good. I'll be listening. 6/24. This just in, President Trump has left the Supreme Court as justices expressed skepticism of his case. President broke 200 years of precedent and attended the birthright citizenship argument. So he was there, Deborah, and didn't like what he was hearing, or he's got a busy day. He's going to be addressing the nation. I do know for a fact we will carry the president's nationwide address. We think he'll be talking about the Iran war. That is scheduled for 9 p.m. But again, it's a politician. Maybe it won't kick off at 9. But our coverage will begin at 9 p.m. You'll hear the president's speech live at 9 p.m. here on 95.5 WSB. Congrats to Jamie from Canton. Won tickets to the Dave Matthews Band. Was Jamie a woman or a man?
Woman.
Congrats, Jamie. I used a higher inflection. If it was a dude, Jamie, like, hey, congrats Jamie.
Yeah.
Congrats, Jamie. You're going to see the Dave Matthews Band, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB. We'll come back, put a bow on this puppy. 11:46 on the program. Checking the ride around town. The Alex Williams.
Hey, Mark. Still no fun. West Side Inner Loop 285 northbound, leaving I-20 and Hollowell Parkway. Still got this stalled tractor trailer. Second one of the morning. It is in the left lane, right at South Atlanta Road, exit 16. That's why you're slow coming up from Hollowell Parkway. And they got some rolling construction heading toward Midtown, 85 southbound, leaving Cheshire Bridge, Lenox, toward the 85-400 merge. They've been working in the right lanes. That's why you're slow coming down from North Druid Hills. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on your favorite brands at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off select Annie's favorites with Prime through April 7th while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. From the Loud Security Systems Traffic Center, Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB. I need your attention.
Where you going is a given.
Use caution as you travel through the area.
How you're getting there.
Major slowdown.
That's the question.
The outer loop slow as you leave Truist Park.
Before you hit the navigation
And so
app.
maybe jump north of there and use La Vista Road.
Listen to the people you trust.
Unusual delays with the direction of this crash.
Updated traffic as often as you need every time you listen.
Following extreme delays.
More experience, more reliable, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Triple Team Traffic.
And the delays are growing out of
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
Most financial advisors only manage your money. They refer you out for taxes, they refer you out for estate planning, they refer you out when things get complicated. Did they really vet that person? Or did they meet once, exchange business cards, and call it a partnership? A referral isn't accountability. It's a handoff. When your investments, taxes, and estate plan are built separately, gaps happen, and those can cost money. At Trajan, we didn't build a referral network. We built a family office for all. Wealth, tax, estate. One team delivering coordinated planning, once reserved for the ultra-wealthy. If you want real coordination and not just introductions, call Trajan Wealth today.
Call Trajan today at 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Access to affordable credit helps me pay my employees, but I don't really need it.
Inflation is killing me. But who cares? Big retailers are making record profits. That's why we support the Durbin Marshall credit card bill.
See? Banks and credit unions help small businesses make payroll. This bill would cut the vital resources they need.
While increasing megastore profits. They deserve it, don't they?
Tell Congress, stop the Durbin Marshall money grab for corporate megastores.
Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Men, if you're suffering from ED or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Priority Men's Medical Center restores men's love lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Priority Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Priority Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. Take control of your love life. Call now. 404-885-8885.
If you're hurt in a wreck, who can you really trust? Every lawyer says they fight hard, but they're not all the same. Check out my accident attorneys at Sweet James. It's Mark Arum here. Many of the attorneys at Sweet James used to defend insurance companies. They saw how injured people were treated, and they switched sides. Now they fight for injured victims across Georgia and won over $2 billion for their clients. When you're hurt, you need a firm that knows how insurance companies think and how to stand up to them. Call Sweet James, 800-9-MILLION, 800-900-0000, sweetjames.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code AUTO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code AUTO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code AUTO for 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up.
Some of you old heads might recognize this song. This is the original theme song to General Hospital. which debuted 63 years ago today on ABC. I would imagine if you are a soap opera fan, it's much easier to watch them in 2026 than it was in 1963. Because in 1963, if you missed an episode, you're gone. But now you can DVR it. You can go back.
A lot of them have moved to apps, too.
A lot less pressure to watch soap operas here. I already congratulated Jamie from Ken. Oh, confirmation from Chris Crawford, assistant program director. We will carry the Artemis 2 launch today live on 95.5 WSB. We are getting more news out of the Supreme Court in the oral arguments in the birthright citizenship case, coverage throughout the day on that big story here on 95.5 WSB. Want to end with a feel-good story. I've got a lot of friends that are single moms. It's a struggle. It's tough. And I love this story that I guess it's a group of students that are helping out single moms. How are they doing this, Deborah?
Yeah, so this is a high school in Virginia. It is basically the shop class. Don't get rid of shop class because a teacher there has his students repair and donate used cars to single moms out there. He said he realizes having that transportation isn't just necessary for a job, but if you want to continue your education, if you need health care, just having that car makes it so much easier for the parents, the children, anything to kind of keep going and have that better life. And it's something the kids can work on, too. An actual tangible thing, not a book to look at, not a video to watch, actual tangible touch things.
I wish I took that shop class in high school.
Yeah, don't get rid of shop classes.
No, automotive stuff. That's awesome. So they're doing this. They're fixing cars and giving them to single moms. An update on Tiger Woods following another SUV accident where he clipped a parked trailer and flipped his SUV. Golf legend Tiger Woods publicly saying he will focus on his own health rather than appearing at major golf events.
Mr. Woods did exemplify signs of impairment.
Officers added Woods was limping and stumbling to the right. They say he told deputies he's had 7 back surgeries and over 20 operations on his leg. According to the arresting officer, Woods said he didn't consume any alcohol, but admitted he took prescription medication earlier that morning.
There are a lot of people asking, why is he still driving in the first place?
I've seen a lot of cases of people who have had many more DUIs than Tiger Woods. The difference is that Tiger Woods is an international celebrity, so everything he does is under a microscope.
That's Dave Aaron Burt, a former Palm Beach County State Attorney Prosecutor. Tiger Woods, I'm assuming, he said he's going to go in rehab, get help, and probably won't be appearing at this year's Masters at Augusta National.
Now you know, because of the Mark Arum Show.
And his executive order says, if you're here illegally or if you're on a student visa temporarily, you're being born here to parents in that immigration status doesn't guarantee you anything.
That's legal analyst from CBS, Thane Rosenbaum, going in depth on the oral arguments concerning the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship. Now you know.
Over the past 4 weeks alone, rates have climbed nearly 0.5 percentage point, which is the biggest such rise since 2024. That's because mortgage rates are tied to Treasury yields, which have surged in recent weeks as the war with Iran has led folks to expect higher inflation.
Yeah, really interesting stuff there from Reed Pickert from Bloomberg News. She joined us live from D.C. Mortgage rates climbing because the Treasury yields are going up because of the Iran war. Now you know.
There's a little fatigue on the negative ads. I think that there's a desire for a lot of Republican voters to hear messages. Tell me what you believe in, what you're for, what you're fighting for, your background, your record.
Political analyst Stephen Lawson joined us live in studio, breaking down the hotly contested governor's race on both sides of the aisle. Now you know.
There was one school district, they said that they had spent $10,000 more on gas, on fuel for their buses than they had the previous month.
Xavier Walton from News Nation, the increased gas prices not just impacting us as we fill up, but school districts, fire departments, and garbage companies having to pay $5 a gallon for diesel. Now you know on the Mark Arum Show.
Are you guys ready for the Mark Arum star of the show?
At 9 o'clock, I was inclined to give it to me because Austin Eller sent me on a wild goose chase to get Artemis donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. When they're not there, they were at Krispy Kreme, but I hammered that audio, Vin, not once but twice. So that immediately took me out of the running. You know what? Professor James Shepard. I've got a cut from Professor James Shepard here. Let me play that in a second, Vin.
Under international law, custom, everything, if you are
a diplomat in a foreign country, you are not subject to jurisdiction of that.
Yeah, so he was professor. Great stuff, in depth from Kennesaw State. We're going to give Professor Jason Shepard star of the show. Great job for Vin. Deborah, you're amazing as always, bud. I think, right? Agreement? That was really good.
Yeah, he came and we called him and he came on right away.
Yeah, that was very good. So congrats, Professor. Give your kids the day off from class today. Let them listen to the oral arguments. All right, I'm sure Eric's going to talk about the oral arguments. He's on live noon to 3 right after us. I will be active on social media at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
Sponsored by Southern Exteriors.
I keep hearing from friends and family and others wanting to know if this is the time that they should sell out their investments because things right now feel so unsettled. The key, as long as you have your money well thought out, spread out, and you're a good ways from retirement or using that money, chill. Don't do anything rash.